All right, Marie, we're ready to go.
Oh, okay. Did you already turn it on? Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, welcome to Deuxieme Vie's creative hour. I guess we're doing Make Art Not Waste. And we would like for you to tag your creations that you make at hashtag Make Art Not Waste, and also tag us on Instagram and Facebook. So to get started, I like to, we're going to make a llama. It's got legs in the front. It stands up. A possum. And it's okay if you don't have any pipe cleaners. You can use a string or something else to have your possum hang by. And then we also have this ribbon fish that you can hang up and let sway in the breeze. So let's get started. I'm going to start by painting the body of the llama, picking a color that you want your llama to be, and just painting the whole toilet paper tube that one color. So I painted this guy pink, but you can choose any color you want to paint him. So let's get started. And then also, there are a couple of pieces that go with the llama too, like its head and its legs, and we're gonna paint those too. But let's paint the toilet paper tube first. So, get your toilet paper tube. I guess I'll just make another pink one so it'll have a friend. And sometimes if the paint's a little thick, I'll put a little bit of water in it and it'll help thin it out. Just painting the whole tube one color. And so this event is brought to you by Deuxieme Vie Creative. We're an environmental nonprofit located in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana on Jefferson Street. We take donations of materials that people are going to get rid of and throw away, and sell them in our store, make kits with them in our store to encourage people and empower people to reuse materials instead of throwing them away. So that's why we're an environmental nonprofit, because we are working to keep materials out of the landfill and encourage creative reuse with them. Like we're using toilet paper rolls today. You may see a lot of, I don't know if everybody here has an adult, but you might see adults throw them away or recycle them, but you can also use toilet paper rolls to make fun crafts and fun animals that are fun to play with. Okay. I'm gonna just set that off to the side. There we go, to dry. And since we have that color out, I'm gonna go ahead and draw the pieces of the llama that are also gonna need to be painted. So his head and his legs, or her legs, which are like two kind of rainbow shapes. So let's start with the head and just get a marker, and we're gonna draw that on the cardboard piece. That could be your cardstock. This is a piece of a LaCroix box, like a soda can box or a cereal box. It just needs to be kind of thick, so when we put it together, it'll hold up the body. Okay, so we're gonna do the neck. We're gonna go up and make, it's like his nose kind of right here. And if you mess up, you're always gonna cut this out, so don't stress out too bad about it. Do some ears, and then come back down, neck all the way down, something like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the legs, which are like a rainbow shape. So let's do it like this. And maybe stick another one over here. You might be asking yourself, Marie, why are we drawing this before we paint it? I won't be able to see the lines when I cut out. Haha, we're gonna paint the other side. So if you paint the whole other side, you can see where your marks were. When it dries, you can cut it out. You'll still have your pattern on one side and your other side will be painted and ready to go. Just painting this to cover the whole area. And we're gonna let this dry also. I like to paint everything first so that it has time to dry, and then we can draw on the paint, because you can't draw on wet paint with a marker. It doesn't work very well. I've tried it. Take my word for it. Or not. And if you want to put any texture with your paint on there, you can. If you wanted to add, like on my possum, I have different kind of fur texture, but I like to draw the texture on the llama, so I usually just leave it solid. Okay, gonna let that dry and close that color paint. So next, we're gonna paint the body of the possum, which is also just painting this toilet paper roll. So the possum I have is gray, which is a mix of two colors. I usually do white with a little dab of black in it to make the gray. And I'll show you how I do that in my handy dandy paint tray, which I've upcycled from some kind of probably snack packaging. It's another way to reuse things that you're going to throw away. So put some white in there. And I'll just like almost brush a little bit of black, not that much at all, and kind of just let it mix in. And I'll add more black as I go, because it's hard to take out the black once you put it in, or any darker color once you mix it in. So I like to add as I go. You can even rub a little bit on there. You see, it'll kind of start to mix in. I kind of mix it on the tube too. I think it adds a little bit of texture to the animal that's supposed to be kind of furry. And there's no wrong way to do this. If you want to have a blue possum or a purple possum or a yellow possum, that is totally great, because it is your creation. I'll add some water to kind of help move that paint around too, help it blend. And then I'll kind of, to make more kind of fur, I just do like dry brush strokes on top of the paint. So get just a little bit of paint and just kind of make it look like little tufts of fur on there. Big or little, it's up to you. Do some with the black too. And these are supposed to look like texture, so you want to try and not blend them in too much. Okay. I'm going to let that dry. And while we're doing that, I'm going to, while we still have the colors out, I'm going to draw the hands and the feet for the possum. So we can paint those. And we have a head that we attach on and his ears. Those are all going to be cut out of your cardstock as well, or your cereal box. So let's draw those and paint those so they can dry. Using a marker, I made the arms a little bit short on this one. I think if you like short feet, then great. I'm going to try and make the arms a little bit longer this time. So just come down and then make a paw shape. I don't know how many fingers a possum actually has, so we're just guessing 4, but you can put however many you want because this is your creation. Okay, then I'll put possum's ears on there too. I'm gonna need a different piece to do the face. You can do all that on there. And then just like we did last time, I'm gonna paint the back again. So you can see I'm lifting the pieces up as I paint them because I'm a messy painter. So it's good to put some paper down when you're painting. I know you've already been painting quite a few things at this point, but it's a good idea to cover your space with something you don't mind getting paint on. Especially if you're painting at the kitchen table or somewhere, it's going to be hard to get the paint off later. Just things to think about. And that can be an old t-shirt or some newspaper. Okay. If you want to do some kind of crazy fur, we're going to cut this up. It's not going to be all one big piece. So kind of guessing where everything's going to be. We'll let that dry and then we'll get one more piece of cardboard or cardstock for the head. And the possum's head's kind of like a heart shape. So just make it like a big heart. And just for me to kind of know better where I'm painting, I'm going to cut it down a little bit. Oh, actually, Possum's face is just white, so we're just going to paint the face white. I'm actually going to paint it on this side because I don't have a ton of white. Just get kind of close to the lines. I'll probably trim it in a little bit when we cut it out. So that's another way to do it. There you go. Now I'm gonna cap my black and white paints while we're letting that dry. I'm gonna put this over here to dry. And the last thing we have is the rainbow fish. And we're just gonna paint the two fields we have on that fish so we can go back and draw over it later. And if you don't want to make it, just work on the other ones we've already started. Once your paint's dry, you can start to cut your pieces out with your scissors. You can think about what you're going to name your animal friends. Okay, and so lastly for the fish, I like to mark it the kind of like the top two fingers is where its head's going to be. And sometimes pinching them flat helps you make the line a little bit easier. You make the top of his head green. And I can't wait to see what kind of things y'all create in a variety of colors and shapes and different imaginations. Okay. And then how about, well, we have this white still. Sometimes I just let my materials kind of dictate what color I'm gonna pick for something. Birds are all out chirping this morning. Okay. I'm gonna move these around so the older ones are ready to go and this can dry. The ones we painted first, not the older ones. So let's see. This first roll we painted for the llama is pretty dry now. And then we also have the different pieces for the body. all look pretty good. So we can go ahead and cut the head and the legs out using our scissors. And when I have like a corner, I always cut in from both sides to make the corner instead of kind of getting stuck in the corner and trying to turn in a sharp space. I'll cut from the outside into the corner like that. Gives me kind of a crisper notch. There you go. One down, two to go. How's everybody's stuff coming along? So I also try and check. This one's going to be a little longer, but that's okay. We can even that out in a minute. Cutting out the legs, cutting them out. So I try and make them about the same length. So your llama's front isn't shorter than its hind quarters. Kind of even out the top a little bit. So you see how the top one's a little bit shorter than the other one. It's a good time to trim them so they're even. There you go. There its legs, and see mine even have some that didn't paint over, but we're going to draw little hooves on it, or you can trim it down more. You can even trim it down. Again, there you go. Okay, and so first things first, we're going to draw the feet on our llama legs. We'll put some toes or a hoof. If you want to give it high heels or tennis shoes, you can do that too. And just do little squiggle toes. And then if you see the one I already made has like fur all over its face, and then we're going to put an eyeball on it. Do kind of an eye shape, line above, line below, curved line. And then we'll do a circle in the middle. Fill it in. Give it some eyelashes if you like. And then we'll kind of just do some dash marks all over it to make the fur kind of arbitrary wherever you'd like. There you go. Okay, so on this one I've already made, we put some cuts at the bottom to put the legs into. I'm going to show you how we do that. You might need some help from a parent in this part. So I'm just going to squeeze the toilet paper in half a little bit. At the bottom, I'm going to cut it about halfway in. So you have like an opening for you to put your legs in. And you can even check it before you do the other one. See if the legs fit. There you go. Something kind of like that. You're going to do the same thing to the back, where the back legs are going to go. Okay. Woohoo! Windy. And then lastly, we're going to put a cut in the neck so that the neck of the llama can go in. I'm going to pick, actually, before we do that, there's this piece that we still have to paint, the blanket that goes on the llama's back. So maybe we should do that part first before we put it all together. And you can pick a color for it, or you can make it white, whichever you'd like. I did yellow for this one. So let's do, about blue? Do a blue one. You just want to make sure it's at the top of your llama. You're going to make like a rounded rectangle. Like it'll have a blanket on its back. That side's pretty good. This one's a little uneven, so we just need to even that out a little bit. Ooh, that's a fancy llama. All right, we're gonna let that one dry. And while we're letting that llama dry, we're gonna cut out our pieces for our possum, which is right here.
Deze goed. Look, het is piscine voor Madeleine. Gezien.
Sorry? Cut the ears out. 2 ears for the possum. Then we'll cut out its arms. What kind of hands do possums have? Do they have claws or little mitts to get all the treasures they find at night to eat? Have y'all ever seen a possum? They're very cool looking. So there's one of the arms. We came out a morning the other day and there was a baby possum in our backyard. And I thought it had died, but it was just plain possum. Because my dog ran up to it. And possums are known for pretending like they're dead. It's called playing possum. And that baby possum had it down. But we went inside and watched the possum, and it got up and proceeded on its day. And maybe something like that. Something that looks kind of like a hand or whatever works for you. Put our ears over here so we don't get them mixed up with the scraps. And I like to cut them all out, like cut the arm separately from the rest of the stuff before I cut it, because it makes it a little bit easier for me to cut out my drawing. Like I can focus on the drawing better if it's separate. Not so much stuff to manage. So we're outside in the backyard today because the weather is so beautiful. And it's starting to be the time where everybody comes out of their house. So you might hear some barks and talks. But that's how the world is. So everything's great. There's the other one. And I know that this might be a little fast paced for some of you. So just do what you can. And we're going to put this video up on Facebook after we're done today. So you can go back and look at it and reference the video if you want to do something different. But maybe right now you want to spend some more time on decorating your llama or your possum, but you want to go back and do the fish later. You can always come back to our little piece of real estate on Facebook at 2EV Creative on Facebook and see the video. I'm not sure for how long, Brandy. You'll have to tell me how long it's up, if it's indefinitely or just 2 days or a week. I'm not sure. Oh, and the face. Cutting out the face, it's kind of a heart shaped. And this one's quite a bit bigger than the last one I made, so we might have to take it down a little bit. Or if you want a huge face on your possum, you can leave it just how it is. It's all up to you. Okay. Oh, and we have to pick which side of your cardboard tube you want your possum to be the front of your possum. I like this side, and this has got a little bit that I didn't cover, so I'll put that on the back. And we're gonna cut a hole to put our tail in, and you can use a pipe cleaner or some ribbon or a string. We're gonna tie it through there so your possum can hang off of your ear or wherever you want to hang it up. So we'll put that about half a finger down, and it'd be a good time to ask your parents to help you to do that. I usually will do that kind of pinch technique again. Find it's the best way to cut it without having to risk stabbing myself with a pair of scissors, which is no fun. Possum earrings. I mean, it's all about getting creative. Penny, I'll be looking for that from you personally, the possum earring, bringing it back. You see how we've created kind of a triangle hole right there? Had a whole bunch of ribbon and it blew off the table and then I couldn't find it. There it is. See, so we'll give this one a pink tail, and I'm just going to use some ribbon for this one. Thank you, Caroline's Corner, for wrapping gifts with so much ribbon, so much stuff to reuse. Okay. Just going to thread it through. Just tie it on the back, however you can tie a knot. You can have your parents help you tie a knot. I also just looped the pipe cleaner through a couple of times and just tied it on itself on the inside. If you have some pipe cleaners at home, that's great. But either one will work. And then, let's see, we got to put some eyes on our possum. Kind of circled. And then like a half circle at the bottom for the pupil. Circle. I'm just using my marker to draw the face on. You can paint it on if you want. If you have some googly eyes or some fun, I'm doing a little heart for the nose, some pom-poms. You can use a pom-pom for the nose. Glue that on. You can put some googly eyes on. It's up to you. Maybe put some dots around his eyes. You can do it however you want. This is your possum friend. And then I'm going to put some just like circles in the ears. Circles in the ears so we know that they're ears. And then I tape them, but you can glue them if you want. Just use a little tiny dab of glue for it. I take a piece of tape. And I'll just like turn it in on itself. So the sticky part's on the outside and roll it, roll it, roll it until it's all like one piece. And then that's going to go on the back of the possum head. Like that. But we need to put its ears on first. So I'm going to tape the ears to the back of the head also. And I use just a small piece of tape for that, or you can use a little bit of glue. Just make sure when you're gluing it, you're going to make sure that the part that you drew on is towards the front, right? So you have to tape it down this way or glue it down this way from the back. So it shows up like an ear. There you go. Just trim off that little piece of tape. That's the great thing about glue is you don't have to trim it. I think I like the tape more because it doesn't have to dry for as long. Okay, and then we're going to put this possum's face in the same place, but you want to put it opposite of where the tail is. So that's on the back. Oh, good. What kind of glue did you use? Kim's using Elmer's glue. She said it dried pretty quick. You just have to use a little dab, not just some very, very light touch on the glue. So it'll dry quick for you. So I'm gonna just stick the head to it. Maybe you could even use glue stick. That might be a good option too. We got the face on there. And then, so now we're gonna put the legs on. And like this example, you're gonna attach the legs on the back side. So you can glue them down on the side or tape them. Oh, I just taped the face to the front. So just opposite of the tail and just at the bottom. That makes sense? Okay. And so I'm just gonna tape these to the back side now. Just make sure your painted side is facing forward, which is gonna look opposite. If you're really picky about it, you can go back and paint over the tape, or you can use glue because glue will usually dry clear depending on the glue. Let's see. Put it about the same place. Trim the tail while we're back here. And his feet are going on the back. Kind of bend them out from the tape too if you want. When you glue it, once the glue is dry, you can bend the feet out more also, which is another advantage of using glue over tape. That seems to be working pretty well. And we're going to do the other two. Might also be easier to put the tape on the leg before you put it on the roll. That one's looking pretty good. So put the piece of tape behind the leg right here, and then attach it to your possum. Somewhere that looks kind of even with the other one. You can always move it around. So possums are nocturnal. Do you know what that means? That means they come out at night usually. They look for food at night. So their eyes work differently than animals that are awake during the day. Got them in its dancing pose, ready to go. Bam, 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 bam. Now I like to curl the tail. You'll need some adult help for this one too. Kind of like at Christmas. Have it kind of have a curly tail. Eek. There you go. And you can tie it somewhere that you have permission to tie it. Or if you have the pipe cleaner, it hangs a little bit easier. You can make a hook out of it and it'll hang. Both are fun options. Put those right there. Okay. Moving on. So let's go back to our llama and the blanket that's been drying. So now we can draw the details on the blanket. You're just drawing like a line around the rectangle. You can really draw whatever you want, but this one just has a line around the rectangle. So I'm gonna do that first. And you can use any of your markers. I like Sharpies. I'm allowed to use them at my house. So I use those. So we're just making a line around the inside of the blanket, just making our blanket a little decorative that goes on our llama. And then this has a bunch of squiggles just on the inside. You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna just do the same thing to keep it easy. And then we add the bead, like the bead fringe detail. So it's 2 dots and like 3 lines right under the dots. So I do a big dot and then the fringe, which is 3 lines. And then I do a little dot on the blanket. So it kind of looks like it's connected. I'm doing one at every corner. You can do as many as you want. You make it as fringy as you would like that. There you go. Okie dokie. So now that we have that finished, that detail finished, we can go ahead and assemble our llama. I like to do the blanket before I cut the notch for the neck. So if I paint closer to one side or the other, just for my aesthetics, I can see how I pick a side that I like better. So I like this side, so I'm gonna just do this side. So you're gonna make sure that it's the top. You're gonna cut a slit in, a small slit. Like fingernail size, about a little more than halfway to the blanket. And then I cut a small slit into the llama as well, so that it'll fit in and kind of stand up straight. You're gonna have to work it in there. Okay, something like that. Put his feet on, put her feet on. No drama llama feet. And it takes some wiggling to get them in there, but that's how they hold well. So just put them in a place that works to help them stand up. It doesn't have to be all the way in where you cut or anything like that. Okay, and then I try and stand them up, and sometimes you have to even readjust when they're standing up to have them stand straight. There you go. Okay. So now my llama has a friend. Llama friends. And I even went back with this one. I went back later. I had some really awesome like glitter paint that I painted over the pink. So I did pink just like this one, but then I got some glitter paint and went back because it's like transparent except for the glitter. So you have to have a base coat under the glitter. So that's a fun little addition you can do if you have that, or come talk to us at Deuxieme Vie. We might have some glitter paint for you. All kinds of fun stuff in the store always. So there we go. So last but not least, we have our ribbon fish. And it comes on a like a hanger that you can hang like a windsock on your porch or in a tree. It's very fun. Trying to put these where you can see all the creations we've made. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. So we painted the head of the fish, which is this top part, and the body. So the first step of drawing is going to be to draw the fish's eye. And that takes up a pretty big part of the head portion, the screen portion. You're going to do one on one side and then do one on the opposite side. But you can do them however you want. That's just the way I learned how to do it. So I'm going to use a marker. You can also use any color you want. I just use black. And then I like to squeeze the toilet paper roll so I know exactly where half is. And go to the other side. Draw another big eye over there. And if you have some googly eyes or jewels or something else you want to use for your fish's eye, that is great. You can make any kind of fish you like. It's your fish. Okay. And so I'm gonna start putting some scales on. These are also that rainbow shape again. You see how they kind of just make an arch. Then I did 1, 2, and 3 of those. So you do the first row of those around, but you can make, I also put some dots at the bottom if you want to just paint it, however you want to paint it, have fun with it. Some scales are like a triangle. Maybe I'll do triangle ones on this fish so you can see. So we can do go inner triangle, maybe 2. I'll start with the bigger ones so they're about the same size. 2. And just keep going like that all the way around. Do your, it's usually helpful so they look layered. If you do 1 layer of the pattern and then come back and do the second layer moving down. See, those are kind of triangles. See, they kind of look like triangles. Then you can do the same again, or you can do a different one. I'm just going to do the same. And you just kind of draw the top, the triangles closest to you off of the ones that you've already put down, staggering them kind of between each scale from the previous row. So kind of like that. Let's see if I can move this in the shade a little bit. Okay, that's better. So that's looking good. And so you can do your pattern all the way down, or if you want to leave it solid like I did with this other one and do different patterns, you can do any of those things. The possibilities are just endless. And Kim, do you have the time? Oh, great. Awesome. So I'm just going to show you, you can go in and paint these however you like. I'm just going to show you how we attach the string to hang it. So you're probably going to need some parent help with this too, because you're going to have to puncture it. So I just push it down until it goes through and then do it on the other side. So, and then you can put your scissors in there and make it a large hole. There you go. And you just get some string. scrap string or ribbon. Any size ribbon you like. I did about an arm's length. And just pull it through the holes. So your fish kind of looks like it's on a fishing line. Then untie it. Tie it on the top. If you want to add some beads on there, like I did in the example, you can totally do that. Just string them on there and just make sure you knot it at the top so they don't come off. And then lastly, we're going to do some ribbon, and you can use ribbon or fabric scraps. And I took pieces of ribbon and just taped them to the inside. I don't know if you can see that, but taped it to the inside of the cardboard tube. So I'll show you how I did that with one of them. So I just got a piece of tape. And cut some scrap ribbon. Different colors. And you can use fabric ribbon if you have some at home, or string or paper strips, anything you have around. This is about being creative with what you got. So I'll take those and stick them to the tape. Pieces of ribbon. And then I'll take that piece of tape and stick it on the inside edge of the cardboard right there. And then do that all the way around until you have ribbons that go all the way around. And you can do as much or as little as you'd like. And if you want to put more in, you can always tape more on top or wait for the glue to dry and glue more on top as well, as long as you just keep them on the inside of the tube. And that's really, really fun to hang outside on your porch or even in your room. They have really nice movement to them, and they're fun. Or even on your rear view mirror in your car or your mom's car. Make her a fish for Mother's Day to go in her car if she likes fishing. So as we're showing you this last little piece of embellishment to do to your ribbon fish, I'm just gonna ask again that you make sure you tag us with hashtag Make Art Not Waste on Instagram and Facebook, all one word, so we can see what you tagged, and make sure you tag us at 2EV Creative on Facebook and Instagram with your creations as well, so we can see what you made. I'm so excited to see what everybody made. You see how that just got some ribbon? So that's just 2 pieces of tape. This one I just put 3. So you can add as much or as little as you want. Isn't that cool? And then you just go back in and paint between the lines, paint the body, whatever you want to do. Very fun. And also too, Deuxieme Vie is a volunteer run nonprofit. That means that we don't make money. The money that we make goes directly into providing things like this craft hour and providing access to materials for the community and keeping our doors open. So if you enjoy these kinds of events, we encourage you to please donate to us on Venmo at Deuxieme Vie Creative. It's all one word. You can also donate through our website. And whenever you're buying things on the store through the website, we have craft kits and materials available online. There's an option to tip when you're checking out, and those tips go directly to our volunteers who are at the shop and volunteer with us, which means they don't get paid. So if you want to leave some love for them, please tip when you check out, or you can Venmo us too. That would be great. I'm gonna open the floor to any additions anybody would like to add to that. Brandy, Kim, or Cindy, is there anything y'all'd like to add?
Just a reminder, we are going to do a safe opening starting Monday. It will be by appointments only. Our shop is so small that we just want to make sure everybody's safe. And so we're only going to let one person in at a time. But please support us. We have lots of goodies in there. And as Marie was talking about, we do have materials online. We add to that pretty regular. And then we do the toot and scoot. If you are not comfortable getting out of your car and coming in, we will package it up and bring it out to your car. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try and do this every Saturday. So tune in, follow us at Facebook and Instagram at 2EV Creative so you can see the next event we have coming up.
I think we're doing cards on Saturday, right? Mother's Day?
Yeah, we want to do Mother's Day cards for next Saturday, pop-up cards. So that'll be really fun. You can tell your mom how awesome she is and show her in a pop-up card. So that's going to be great. So tune in next week.
I want to show mine.
I know, me
Yes.
too.
Yeah, show us what she made.
Okay, how do I?
Oh, that looks great. Oh, I love her pom-pom ears.
This is Penny's cute little llama.
Wait, show us again. You're just on camera now. Show us the pom pom. Oh,
Brandy.
I love it.
Let me see yours, Kim.
Okay, I don't know how to make the camera go to me, but I love these guys. They're the cutest.
My little llama doesn't stand up too well, but my possum is pretty darn cute. And my fish is not too bad either.
They turned out so great, y'all.
This is our
They
fish.
turned out awesome.
Stop barking.
So y'all make sure you'll take photos too,
Hey.
so your creations will live in infamy. And have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Stay creative and make art, not waste.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon.